for the special session that Governor Brown has called for next week. Her office says that she wants to use that time to pass new legislation tied to police accountability. It starts a week from today. So here are some of the bills the governor wants lawmakers to focus on. We're going to run through them. She wants them to create a statewide database to track officers who have been disciplined. She wants a law banning the use of chokeholds and tear gas, and she wants to make it more difficult for arbitrators to overturn police discipline. Now, several of these ideas came from a caucus of lawmakers of color. That includes State Senator Lou Frederick, who's been proposing reforms like these for years.
I was hoping that this would finally happen, but I never expected it to, because people are slow to address things that are that significant. But now what we've seen is a critical mass of information about what's gone on and how people have been treated. And I think we're going to see a change.
Now, the special session will also cover the topic of the pandemic. The governor wants to solidify her moratoriums on residential and commercial evictions. She also wants to ban debt collectors from taking federal CARES Act payments. Some GOP lawmakers have pushed back against this session because they want to focus on solidifying Oregon's budget. Now, when asked if members plan to participate, a spokesperson for the Republican lawmakers wrote, "Probably."